was a great.
whatever the next day.
So yeah, his birthday was the next day, so it was a nice birthday present for him that we were able to offer that. So anyway, it was good deal.
Yeah, so I'll just say a little bit more about both of them, just real quickly, and then we can vote and get on our way. But David, do you want to just quickly have everybody introduce themselves? I'm not sure if everybody on this call has even met.
So I think we have, but it probably can't hurt. I am David Bean. I'm a former chair of the EAC. I'm the my job is to chair these meetings for Kathy, who is our current chair, who's unfortunately not able to be with us today. I am an environmental sustainability and alternative energy lawyer. I've been practicing environmental law for about 35 years. Live in the city. Next.
I'm Bill Vitale. I'm a member of the EAC. I live in the city. I'm retired. I was an architect. I think I've met everybody here. Yes.
All right, I'll go next. Ann Sellers. I have a business in the city. I specialize in stormwater management and green infrastructure. I'm trained as a landscape architect, but we work with civil engineers and landscape architects to do the work. And been doing it for probably 35 years. That's me.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Crothers. I'm a member of the EAC. I've been a member for about a year. I'm a graduate of Albright College, a resident of Reading, and I work for American Rivers. I do a lot with water quality in rivers and stormwater management.
I'm Jim Cole. I think I'm the newest unofficial member of the EAC. I interviewed last month, and I think the council has recommended that I do become part of the committee, but it just has to wait until there's a meeting and it gets sworn in. So I'm here. I live in Reading.
Welcome.
I'm Ryan Bradley. I'm the Clean City Coordinator for the City of Reading.
My name is Brandy Davis. I'm on staff with the City of Reading as the planner.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Stephen Thompson. I think I got Jim beat by a week as far as being a newest member of the EAC. Pretty much lifelong, resident of the city, involved in a couple different organizations. Ironman Athletic Association, which we do some community service work. So I was brought in or recommended by Kathy Myers, as she was one of my professors at Alvernia. So look forward to working with everyone here.
I'm Scott Bachman. I'm the city's MS4 coordinator. That's municipal separate storm sewer system, but we also deal with the sanitary as well, since the other supervisor's not in.
Shelley Smith, Deputy City Clerk, also a lifetime city resident.
Okay, so getting back to the agenda item. So I see that Jim posted something about concise is good when you're dealing with social media. That's sort of a fitting introduction to Kareem. I feel like he's like a raw talent. He doesn't have a lot of experience. Well, he has some, but not the kind of experience that maybe David and even Desi have with the kind of working with community groups and stuff. But I mean, there were a few times in interviews, he just was so on target about how to communicate and how to connect with people. It just has such a good feel for it. And he's very incredibly engaging. And we just felt that he would bring something in terms of connecting with particularly young people that would be really valuable. And I think we can, and I think he can learn a lot from the process, and he's just really enthusiastic. So I should say he's a junior at Albright. going into his senior year, I think, or sophomore year, just junior year. I can't remember. But anyways, he's a student at Albright. He's on the football team. So in the fall, his schedule's very busy, but the rest of the year, he's got some space. And then the other person is Jasmine Slitzer, who, Kareem is not from the area. He's a student at Albright, but he grew up in, a few different places, which might say something about his history. But he's from, he lives now in Newcastle, Delaware. And so he's not familiar with the community, but we felt that his communication skills are such that, and his understanding, I think, of maybe a lot of the young people in the community that we might be trying to reach for this would be a real advantage. Jasmine grew up in Mountain, went to Berks Catholic. She has deep roots in the city. Her grandparents live in my neighborhood. In fact, I don't know, David, do you know the Wongs? You know Jim and Marie Wong, Dr. Wong?
I do not, no.
Oh, okay. They live on Eckert. They're great people.
Okay.
I would recommend, that was enough of a recommendation for her, for me, known them for years. And she, her church is in the city, and she's just, so convincing about her. Nobody had to feed her any words about what this is all about. She totally gets it and understands it. And she's one of these people. I remember in my 30s, I took a job with a nonprofit, and there were a couple 20-year-old people hired. And one of my colleagues said, these are the first 20-year-olds he ever met with like 40 years of experience. And that's kind of her resume is so packed. So she's got a lot of bits and pieces of experience as a good writer, wrote an incredible cover letter, a good communicator. They're both very articulate. So she has a little more maybe of an academic, on the ground activist kind of perspective. And we really thought that the two of them together would be good. And I called them after our interviews had completed and the committee had decided to let them know that we had decided to hire two. And they both said the same thing immediately. Can I have the other person's contact information? I want to get in touch with them right away. So they seem to be really, really enthusiastic. So we'll see. We don't know. I think what we accomplish will be a function of how much the committee can participate and Bethany's involvement and stuff. So I could go into more detail about the resumes, but they both, these will affect the internships, although neither one of them is required to do an internship. She might, Jasmine may use this work for her capstone project that she has to do, but that's not why she applied. And there's also another internship available working with Bethany and Shelley. I think that's actually more hours and has more money involved, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about that. Ryan may know more than I do.
That Ally had and left. Be that as it may, this is the one she's interested in, and they both committed to doing this under the conditions that we're proposing, that they both get hired. So they're on board and ready to go, and we told them that we would be meeting today and the decision would be made and we'd get back to them right away. So Steve and I can both say a lot more if you want, but if you're ready, if you guys have questions, go ahead, ask questions. Otherwise, you want to call the vote.
So what kind of, so we're using the rest of our funds to
Yeah.
pay for their positions in advance? So that we use the funds this year, like we did last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how much do we have left?
Not much. It'll be, I don't know, $300, $250 after we sign.
Oh,
the contract.
no, to pay them. How much do we have to pay?
Oh, we
them?
have, I don't know if Shelley knows the exact number. It's 10,000 minus the 3 books we bought. Whatever.
Oh, okay. Okay, so and how long would they be employed for?
Well, we said, we repeated last year, like February to August. But breaking up the hours over a certain period of time. But last year it ran into October. So, there were just complications that happened here and there. So I think it's kind of a loose time frame, but that's what we thought, about 6 months.
6 months, and how much time are we expecting them to put in?
I can't remember. I think 20 comes out to basically $20 an hour, so 240 hours each.
Okay.
That's, you know, it's a substantial amount of time. I think we can get some stuff done. I mean, one thing we will do, we hope to do this round that we didn't do before is this listening sessions, actually going out into to the community, making brief presentations, but listening to what's on people's mind. And that, I mean, both of these, all three of the interviewees, I mean, without any prompting, I mean, that was sort of central to a lot of what they were saying. But find out what people think about this stuff. I mean,
So
sort of obvious.
the idea is someone will take over Instagram and post things on Instagram, and we'll be able to feed that person Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, that's why I said some of the success is going to depend on us collectively working with them and providing some of the stuff they need and spurring them onward. I think Kareem will be very effective, but I think we'll have to provide, in a sense, the content or the objective to him. I feel like Jasmine, we could just sort of turn the key and she'd be off and inventing all kinds of stuff to do.
So are they going to split up the duties? Like, you know, one does Instagram, the other one does something else. Like what are their job descriptions?
Well, we didn't break down. We had a single job description thinking one person would do it. I mean, I think with them, we will break that down. We'll go back over that job description that's like a page and a half long. And I think each of us on the committee needs to think through who we see doing what. I mean, Steve laid out one very distinct separation where the social media stuff. Kareem's on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, what I understand, not Twitter. Yes, no, TikTok. He's on TikTok, and I mean, what he described, it just was like that to me was the embodiment of my understanding of TikTok. How you grab people. You know, you have to avoid having them scroll, and it's, you know, just as I said, kind of a raw understanding of that. You know, without a lot of training, he could create videos, stuff like that. So that, I mean, that's the kind of thing. I think we will, in the new year, we'll have a meeting with them, with the committee, and kind of go through the list and talk through how to break that down between them.
Okay, and then will one be setting up like the mapping system maybe?
I think it'll be one of them. Yeah, I mean,
Okay, all right.
I haven't, and these are really good questions. I haven't thought through. No, any of us have thought through that. I know how we go forward. And by the way, the participation was Kathy, Steve, and I, and Stephanie's back involved and was very involved in the interviews. So I'm hoping that, you know, she'll stay involved moving forward. And anybody else can join that committee if you want. If you've got time, you want to be involved. You know, I think Ryan, with the work he's doing, would be very helpful in kind of connecting with the relationships he's establishing around the city. But these are things, you know, that we will talk about as we move forward.
Yeah, I think it's important that we really get a good idea of what each one will do in the beginning, and that way it's easier for us to feed them information and, you know, like get the best use of their time.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, as you're asking the questions, Ann, I think that what we'll probably do is take that job description and actually pull it apart and make pretty clear what each of them is responsible for, you know, what we expect each of them to do with their participation in that process.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing the interviews.
Well, I can't speak for Steve. They're just so much fun to do. I can't. They're just, these kids are fantastic. I mean,
yeah, it gives you hope, right?
Yeah, if you ever get it, hopefully you guys get a chance to meet these people, but they were both really outstanding, you know, young people. And Jasmine was, like I said earlier, she was super impressive, and I just loved her enthusiasm for the city. I mean, she was, you know, very enthusiastic to say the least. And Kareem, just as Bill said, he was just a very engaging person that like his take, he said like when he basically leaves your presence, I should say, you're going to have a smile on your face. And literally everyone had a smile on their faces as we were interviewing him. That's how engaging he was. So, I mean, like the way I see it, you know, what I would foresee is, again, Jasmine is very strong writer. I think so. She'll be pretty much the content person in this duo. And then Kareem can basically, you know, kind of use social media to our advantage. So I think, you know, I mean, I'm sure she can work with social media, but he just seems so in tune with what's necessary. Like Bill said, I mean, you know, if you're going to catch somebody, especially with a topic like we're saying, environmental issues, you got to grab them right away, you know. And, you know, you can't throw like 1,000 words at people and then expect them to like want to listen to you, you know. And he was like, look, you gotta get people to stop scrolling. So if you have a world blowing up, or, you know, and that's going to grab their attention, and they're going to see, you know, right away, you know, what it is that we're trying to get across. So, and like I said, she was just very, very well written, very presented extremely well. And so I think she'll be able to, I mean, she knows more probably environmental issues than probably 95% of the country. That's how into it she is. So she'll definitely be a strong fit for it. So anyway, my 2 cents.
One thing I did forget to add is that Jasmine is a student at GW in Washington. Somehow she's doing a bachelor's and a master's at the same time. I don't know how this happens, but anyway. So any other questions? When Steve was on, just let me say one other thing, just so people are, you know, in the loop on all this. It's just a reminder that we started this began a year ago, or a little over a year ago, with, first of all, needing some help. You know, Bethany's got 15 hats, so kind of trying to bring some people in to take some of the pieces we had discussed about doing the social media stuff. The idea was to do a blog. So some of it was to bring in additional hands to carry out some of the ideas we've been discussing. But a big part was feeling that we're not the community. We needed folks who kind of know the community we're reaching. And a big measure of that is youth. And actually in our conversations, some really good ideas came up about how to, you know, what avenues we might use to reach young people. I mean, you know, even in the schools or at that age group. And so that's what Desi and David both brought us. And I think these two are going to bring us the same thing. So I think we're in a place where we weren't last year because of their involvement. And I think whatever degree of success this brings us will be further along than we are now. And some things will be put in place to carry forward. So anyway, it's almost 12:30. So.
Okay, yeah, so if there are no further questions, we'll entertain a motion, which needs to be specific in terms of the compensation that is going to be provided and the scope of work. So do I hear a motion?
Probably should be someone other than Steve.
I'd like to make the motion, but I don't know the exact compensation or the scope of work. So,
Yeah. Okay.
well,
Bill, there's nothing that prevents you from making the motion, so I would suggest.
Well, okay, well, then I will make the motion since it's our proposal, the committee's proposal. So we are proposing to retain via contract Kareem McCoy and Jasmine Slusser. The rate of compensation is $4,800 each. That will, the understanding is that will represent 240 hours of work on each of their parts spread over several months. And the work will be a the combined work of the two of them will be as outlined in the job description. I was just looking for the document so I could find the date of the job description. I don't know, we can add the date, we can figure that out and add the date, but that would be, that summer, and that's basically what Shelley did last year, which she took the job description, slapped the signature thing on it and sent it to each of them to sign, rather than rewriting it.
Bill, what
So
are the
job
months
des-
again?
job description as advertised, do you want to say?
Well, that's good, yeah, because that's it, yeah, we really. yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
As advertised and as will be attached to the minutes.
Okay.
What were the months again? The month,
Roughly from February to August. But I think we will have a meeting in early January with them, so that in a sense will be the commencement. So let's say January to August. I mean, it's really it's not like, and with David and Desi too. I mean, we didn't, and we've even said to them, it doesn't have to be a fixed number of hours per week. It can be one week a lot, another week not.
so you've made your motion,
I think that's the motion, yes.
so I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion that's been seconded. Any further comments? If not, all those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried.
I mean, we could probably add Kathy. I mean, probably you should.
Yeah, I don't know that we're set up to take votes by proxy.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But
No, we don't need it.
we've got a quorum, the motion passed, so you can consider them effectively hired. Okay, so there was one more agenda item, Michelle, that Kathy wanted us to address today.
Yeah, she was hoping to get an update on where the signage project stands, now that we're moving into 2023 and we'll have additional funding to try and move that forward.
Yeah, I have not reached out to my contact yet, but I will do that and copy Bethany and Kathy when I reach out. The former person put it in my phone, so I have it.
Okay,
So, I mean, just to recap, they're updating their graphics, and so we want the latest graphics and sort of, and they've had a lot of transition at Philadelphia Water Department, so I have the latest, greatest hire that I can contact at this point, so.
yeah, since Kathy's not on, maybe Ann, you can just shoot her a quick email with a 2-sentence update. Sounds like, well, that's all.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
all she was looking for.
okay,
And it reminds me, there was a loose end, I think, from Desi's work, and I don't know what at the end of that, she said that she had, one of the things that we did with the map was we attached a pin for each of the green infrastructure things where we're gonna have signage. And I think she had put, no, I know she did, she put together some wording from stuff she had seen either with us or, and I think she tried to contact you to get some, to maybe talk.
oh, yeah,
about
he
that.
wants me, yeah, like I need to write a good description of each item.
Yeah, which you probably
Which
have.
I can do, yeah, I haven't done it either, so. I will do it
Okay.
to fish
Well,
up.
we know how it
Yeah.
is. Kathy and I are wading through the 6 pillars, writing some copy for that too. So we've each done one. She started a second one. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, mine is pretty much a cut and paste of,
I would
Okay.
think you've probably written it 1,000 times.
oh, yeah. So,
Yeah, that would be good. And then this goes back to your earlier question. I mean, the intent now is to bring that up to date and publicize it so people can go there and find this stuff.
yeah,
So Shelley, I just need to talk to you for a second about who's doing what. Getting these two people lined up.
Yeah, like honestly, I think the best, I mean, it's hard to write a descriptor unless you're somebody that does it all the time. The graphics are much better. So I would prefer posting something that has the graphics with the permission of the Philadelphia Water Department. I prefer having graphics associated with the descriptor.
Well, there is, well, I think, Desi came up with some graphic.
Yeah,
the
so like they're coming up with better graphics, probably more simplistic, I'm thinking, than they had before. And
Okay.
so if we like posted the graphic along that, the idea was to post a graphic with the pin where the descriptor came up with the graphic of how it works.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's hard to explain if you don't work in the field. Like
Okay.
if you don't work in that in green infrastructure, it's the graphic, pictures are they speak a million words. When it shows the water infiltrating graphically, it's hard to visualize unless you have a graphic. So I mean, ideally, when somebody presses on a pin and it says the type of green infrastructure it is, that a graphic will pop up. And I'm sure the new hires can figure out how to do that.
One of them, I think, so, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're saying that you want to wait to put the.
I think,
Let it follow the
it would be, like I can come up with descriptors, but without the graphics, it would be hard for most people to understand.
Okay,
I could, in
Makes
general,
sense.
I suppose I could, but
makes sense, okay. So we're waiting for the graphic.
yeah, pretty much. I have to get a hold of them.
All right, so I think that takes care of the two agenda items that this special meeting was called to address. If there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Same to
okay.
you.
Happy New Year,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Yeah. So Shelley, I'm gonna hang on for a second.